Cahoon, who was first sergeant of that company during the World War when we mobilized, was sent back from Ireland to go to the officer candidate school in Fort Benning to be commissioned. This is along Main Street. That's the City Hall. And I think the first person you see coming out of there will be our mayor, Clyde Orr. He's the man in the white shirt. This is Clyde. Following him is Ed Jenkins. Ed was the city clerk at that time. Then Charlie Meyerhoff. Ev Arbuckle was the Nellie Man. And Clarence Hillary. Mr. Hillary at that time was head of the light company. Next is a picture of down Main Street on the west side. It's Dusty Miller and Charlie Meyerhoff. Again, this is a picture of Main Street. This is a Winter's clothing store. This is Hoodie Winters, manager of the clothing store, and Yale Wright and Mrs. Darwin Dunn. And the next picture will be inside of the Dunn Variety store. Chunky was the lieutenant in the company. It's the inside of their store. Next to them was the Lester Scott and his son Bob. The Maytag. Next is Muller's store. Young George was a member of the medical company attached to our unit. This is a picture of a window that he put in commemorating his son. Service. This is Mr. Squires, who is the mutual telephone manager. Next is Jim Honeyman at the Honeyman Drug Store. Next picture you see are the dogs of Bill and young Jim, who at that time their dog was born, pups were born in the wallpaper. This is Mr. and Mrs. Frank King. Bob King was a member of the company. That's Mr. Freud, the Freud shoe repair. Then Cliff English and Tommy Woodard. Next is Carl Taylor Cigar Store. That building is gone now. The post office is there now. This is Carl himself. Next is a Dewdrop Inn, Mr. Shaver. And the two ladies I can't identify. Next is Brown Shoe Shop, Mr. Brown. The next is to the alley there was Ralph's Cafe. This is Bar Brow and Jeep Lewis. Jeep was a member of the company. Next is Frank Snow, Snow's Cafe. And on down the street to the south was Cox Produce. This is Roy Cox, manager at the produce company. This is Ed Weiner. Ed now, or at that time, was on the other side of the street. This is Tyler's Locker Services. Bertha and Gertrude run this. I don't know who the boy is, but the girl is Helen Neal. Helen Neal Devine. She married the Devine boy that was in the company. I don't know who this man is either. Next is a Marsh 66 service station, Phillips 66. That's on the east side of the square, or not the east side of the square, the east side of the street. William Marsh to the left, Earl Marsh, their mother, and Orville's wife, Reba. Now this is on the west side of the square. Just a picture all along. Means Hardware Store was next to the City Hall at that time. And Carly's Bakery, the drugstore, the Save Store, Dodson Jewelry, and the next building is Dunn's. This is Harold Bickford, local attorney at the time. And this is Means Hardware. This is Judd Means to the left, and I can't tell you who the man on the right is. Then it's the Moore Brothers Drugstore. That's Fenn Fisher on the left and Bill Moore on the right. Next is Verlin Holt, work for us. That's Bill and Dwayne Goldsberry and Ruthie Phillips, who's now Ruth Mueller. That's the Verlin and Ruthie. and Bill. Next picture is my brother Bill and mother. And the Buick Auto Sales and Mr. Dunn, Jim Dunn, there on the left. John's dad. This is the north side of the square, showing the businesses along there, including the armory. This is Floyd Marvick, owner of the Marvick's Feed Mill. Dickinson Plumbing and Heating, Mutt Dickinson here as the owner and operator of that. Van's Chevrolet Garage is Paul Fisher, Claude Burnham, and Van on the right. The ladies I can't identify. Next is the armory. Next, the Community Gas Company. Lee Means was the manager at that time. You see Lee come out pretty quick. He and one of his helpmen serviced a car. And then the local volunteer fire department. And the two ladies, I can't identify them. Next is on the east side of the square, the Ford Motor Company, owned by Joe Oliver. That's Joe there. This lady I can't identify. This is Albert Davey, real estate man. Next is Harold Nordyke, the Nordyke Barber Shop. And the view south again on the east side of the square, or east side of the main street. Next here is Wiggles Oviatt. At that time, he's manager of the building and law at that time. And the review office, the only people I can identify there is Bob Adams, Spider Watt, and Ward Carpenter. Then Tyler Brothers. I don't recognize any of the Tylers. I know those people, but I can't recognize them by name. That's Pat Patterson of the Patterson Hatchery. Now this is Harry Tyler taking a picture of his crew. This is the crew, and this picture was taken by Bill Moore, my brother. Next to them is the Ted Marvick's Tire and Battery Shop. That's Mr. Kerr and Mr. Lindell. That's Don Anderson and Tom Anderson and Frank Hale. The next is Toots Gorley, Robin Collier, and Waldo Pimp, representing the pool hall, I guess. Next here is Iva Applequist and the McGee girl. That is Larry Bellary of the Candy Kitchen and Dutch Wiedemann. This next one is Orville Hamill. And this is the post office group. That's Ray Mann and Sadie Reynolds. Next to them is Rule Fengel, who has the Fengel Cleaners. Now this is a supply store. I'm labeled that, but I don't know who they are. I'm sorry. Bill Gorley, who had the Wolf and Gorley, managing the Wolf and Gorley Funeral Home next to them. And this is John Palmquist and his dad at the Palmquist Hardware store there in Villisca. This is Eno Furniture on the corner. Mr. Eno on the left, and the extreme right is I can't think of this name now. Now, these people come so fast that I'm sorry that I can't identify all of them. I do recognize some of them. I recognize the there's Sarah Kernan's wife and Mrs. Kernan, his mother. Mrs. Ryder. That's the lady in black there is Mrs. Mrs. Omer Day, and this is Mr. Ryder. And Albert's dog there from over from Ottawa. Ryder was killed in action in North Africa. The girl, I don't know who she is. This is Bill. This is Bill Gorley. And the band again. Next, Vern Watts, Mr. and Mrs. Vern Watson family, and Bobby Watts in front. Howard was a member of the company. These ladies get out of the car so fast and with their heads down that I can't place them at all. Got a Jeep, I don't know where they got this. It's Frank Butler, local police. and Doc Kelly. Doc was a member of Company F during World War I, ended up as captain of Company A in the 168th Infantry. Next, these homes are hard to identify, and the people. The people here, however, I do know is Walt Webster and his wife, and Joe Henkel, his wife and family. Or not Joe himself, but his families, and Walt's family. Now, this is Mrs. Jean Cotter and her son. Jean was a lieutenant in the company. Jean was from Corning. This is Mrs. Hankey, Mrs. Sebring Maines, Hankey's mother. Hankey was in the company. And this is Ward Wheeler with the two twins. Twin boys. They're better than 6 foot tall now. These are the Nelson girls. The middle one married Pug Shanks of Clarinda. I don't identify this girl either, I'm sorry. This couple here is Mr. and Mrs. Lou Armstrong. Lou was the principal of the high school at this time. That's Stub Brenton and his wife, Mrs. Brenton. And this is Francis Reynolds. It's Ed Reynolds' brother. That's Francis. And next is Mrs. Ed Reynolds. That's Ed's wife and Francis's wife. And this is again Francis's son. That's Ed Fryer on the right. I can't identify the man on the left, nor do I identify this man. The girl here on the right is Stub Brenton's daughter. Next is Dusty Miller. And this is my wife and daughter Nancy. This is Shag Cahoon, Everett, Bill Cahoon's dad. He was, Now these pictures here again are pictures of someone's backyard, and these people are friends, sweethearts, and mothers of the men in the company. But there are too many to identify. Any of you people who can identify them, I wish you would and leave word with us. This is the Villisca band down on the football field, Villisca marching band. And the swimming pool. You notice those big shade trees on the left that were killed by the Dutch elm disease are gone. Got some pretty good divers here too. They show those in a minute. I don't know who they are. I can't identify this couple either. Show off. And I can't identify this family. I should know them, but I just can't do it. This family here is Ray Darnold's family. That's Ray on the extreme left here. That's the same family again. These homes, I just can't place them. Where can I place this lady? Like Bob Gorley. Now these, again, are ladies whose relation were in the company. Don't know who that is. And this man here is was the deputy sheriff of Montgomery County. His name was McPherson. That's Mr. Dunn, Jim Dunn, and his wife. Next is Paul Taylor, and the man to the right is Johnson, who was the postmaster at Nottoway now, or was it that? He's retired now. That's Mrs. Devine. West Devine is a member of the company. That's my wife, Dorothy, coming across the street. And this is Mrs. Wade Schooley. I can't place this man. This is Fred Steinmate's family. Unless the Steinmate's family. This is Mrs. Fred Bryson.
She was a Berkeley.
Yes, that's right. And I believe this is Everett Bryson. That's Fred's dad. Next is the Eric Nelson family, father and mother of the three Nelson girls you saw a while ago. This couple I can't place. That's Bill Johansson, McKesson salesman, coming in the drugstore. These two girls coming down the street I can't identify at all. I'm sorry. That's my daughter Nancy and her little girlfriend, the smallest one of the two. This is Nancy here coming up. Yeah, they're having a lot of fun. They're running, jumping off at the bandstand in the middle of the park. Fixing her hair and chewing gum. It's a good picture of her, too. I'm sorry, I can't tell you who that is. Now, this is Lawrence Poof and his family out on the Poof farm. That's Lawrence. Lawrence was in the company and was sent back as over age. Tom Poof, Bill Poof, Nancy Poof, and that's Opal. Lawrence's wife, that's Opal Poof, and Tom Poof. Tom's a business here in Villisca now. That's Nancy Poof and her mother, Opal. This is the Poof family of Lawrence, Opal, Bill, Nancy. This is again all the family. I think this was taken on the same farm. I'm not sure. I think this boy was in the picture there. I think he just stitched up the pony to show you that he could. And that's Nancy Poof in front and Nancy Moore behind her on Nancy Poof's pony. And then a couple of farm pictures here. I don't know who they are, who they belong to. I don't know who the gentleman is with them there. Nice span of mules belong to somebody. And the bobsled, too, is unusual to see that. Dick Runyon there with the white shirt. And the other two, I'm sorry, I can't identify. This girl coming across the park is another one that I can't identify. It's a little too dark there to notice who they are. And this is Barbara Bontrager, Put Bontrager's daughter. Put Mrs. Bontrager. couple of boys fishing down by the dam, just below the dam, and done pretty good too. As you'll see here. I don't know who this gentleman is fishing off the dam. The boys and their string of fish. I'm sorry, I can't tell who this group is at all. No one seemed to know that has seen this. And this couple, I think this one is Colonel's wife to the right. Now next coming up here is Omer Day, that's Bill Day's dad on the right, Mr. Mullen in the middle, and Andy Devine on the left. That's closer up of Omer and Mr. Mullen and Andy Devine. Devine boys in the company's dad. That's Mrs. Omer Day and Mrs. Devine and Andy Devine. Mrs. Omer Day's in the middle there. This is Belva Bryson. This is Freddie's mother. Fred Bryson's mother. It's a close-up of her. And that's Dwayne Goldsberry coming through the park. Dwayne was a brother of my wife, Dorothy. That's the close-up of Dwayne. These two ladies here are Mrs. Brown, well, Flossie Brown and Mrs. Bryson. Brown was a sergeant in the company. And that's my mother, Jessie Moore. Yeah. So, these are golfers. I'm sorry I couldn't find anybody that could identify anybody except Jolly Joy. I know he played with Swanson quite a bit at that time, R.J. Swanson. But I'm not sure if he's on there at all and bring him in. But they're playing number 4. But that's Jolly. I can tell by his swing. Jolly was a very good golfer. Next is a panoramic view starting at the north and going south from on top of the Country Club Hill or on green number 4. Still going south. That's Highway 71 looking north. You can sure tell these greens aren't bent grass. They look like they're full of weeds. Still going south. Jake Butler's home there on the front of you. It's gone now. Going down 71 again. Country Club house. And in the distance, you'll see pretty quick the water tower, Villisca. I say these weren't bent grass greens. You can tell that by looking at it now. That's Don and Zuber's place. Don and Zuber were cooks up at Tenville. Frank Braden had a construction firm up there at that time, too. It's quite a little city. Now, the restaurant was up there, too. And some beautiful homes. Again, it's a closer up view of the restaurant. Now, coming out of the restaurant, Mr. Ray Dunn and his wife, and Zuber and John Zuber and his wife. The rest of the people I can't place. I can some of them. That's Gus Dunn, the father of Chunky and Lauren. That's Junior Wheeler, and that's Lauren Dunn. They line up out in front here about the same way. Gus is the man with the straw hat. He's the father of those boys. And the Jubilisca parade is more or less self-explanatory. I don't know whose band it is, but it's a good one. These are Tyler's horses. The fancy horses at that time.
There all this time until just a year ago then.
And the pet parade.
Oh, with no sound.
I'm sorry that I haven't been able to identify everybody on here, but it's after all, it's 46 years old, or 46 years ago, these pictures were taken.